Good morning, YouTube. Today I wanted to build something really awesome, but instead I made a fidget spinner. Uh, all the kids nowadays are going crazy about these things. It's the newest fad. My kid wanted one, and instead of buying one of those plastic ones at the store, I decided I'll just make one in the garage real quick. It's a super simple project you can do in like under an hour, maybe about an hour. I had a spare piece of oak laying around. I bought some bearings online at Amazon. I'll put the link in the description where I got the bearings, and you can make one of these really quick and give to your kid, and he'll have a good time with it. Let's go in the garage and I'll show you how I made mine. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to make this project out of a old piece of scrap white oak that I had laying around from a previous project, and I went online. I bought a pack of 10 of these bearings that they sell for these fidget spinners. So you gotta use 4 of these bearings. I kind of set them up roughly the way these things are made. And the wood needs to extend, past the bearing a little bit. So I'm probably going to cut this board right about there, and that should give me enough material to make it out of. Alright, let's make our drawing here for how we're going to build this thing. Here's our bearings, and we're going to put them at 120 degrees from each other. So let's start by, we'll mark the center one is going to be probably right about there. And then we get an idea of what we want for the distance between centers. And we'll use a compass. I kind of think that's probably pretty good because we still have to have a little bit of wood around the outside of it. So this is going to be the radius or to the other bearings. So we'll go ahead and put a good little indentation there in the middle. And draw a circle. And that's going to be the centers of the other outer bearings. Don't know if you can see that really well. Next, I'm just going to draw one line out. Really doesn't matter where you put that line. Just has to start from the center and go outwards. And where these two intersect right here, see if I can get a little closer look here. Where the two lines intersect, that's where the center of this bearing is going to go. And I have my protractor here set to 120 degrees. So I'll set it on this line, and I'll draw a line out that's 120 degrees, and that intersect point's where the other bearing is going to go, and I'll go from there, set my protractor down again. I got it set at 120 degrees, and we'll come out this way. Of course my pencil goofed up, but that's where the third bearing is going to go. And that looks pretty good and symmetrical. And I want the outside of the fidget spinner to be roughly about there. So what I'll do is get rid of all this stuff, and I'll reset the compass. Put the needle right back in the original indentation. And that's going to be the outermost part of my toy or fidget spinner, whatever you want to call it. I think that leaves enough meat on there that it won't break. So next, I need to bring lines down that are going to be the sides. Let me grab a ruler. Okay, I was looking for something to make these lines with, but I realized that this ruler, if I set it down on that line, will protrude just enough past the bearing that it would make a good amount of wood on the outside of the bearing to hold it there. So I just set the ruler on this line that I drew, the center line. I draw an outer one, put it on the other side, draw another line. If I set a bearing right there, that looks pretty good. Just have to round these corners out. Now just do it on all the other sides. All right. Then I have an equal amount of wood on either side of these bearings. I think that looks pretty decent. Now these corners, I need to round them off a little bit so they look a little better. And I think I can just use these little bearings. That way it'll have the same radius. Put it on the corner, brace around. Now when I set the bearing there, yeah, I think that'll look pretty decent. All right. Now these inside corners, they're a little harsh. So we'll probably just, I think I'm just gonna do the same method. I'm just gonna put this bearing right here in the middle and soften these inside corners up. All right, that looks better now. So now I'm going to take this to the bandsaw and cut this out. God, I hate the bandsaw. I didn't cut all the way to the line because now I'm going to use the oscillating spindle sander to get right up to the line, because it's too hard to cut very precisely with this thing. Mostly because I have the crappiest bandsaw ever made. Now using a 3/4 Forstner bit, I dimpled with a awl right where the center of these lines intersected, and now we're just going to drill them out with the Forstner bit. I got a little worried it would kick back on me, so I went ahead and grabbed this clamp so that if it tried to spin on me, I won't lose a finger. Now a bunch of hand sanding. Take it all the way up to 220 grit. Okay, I got it all sanded down all the way to 400. And for my finish today, I'm just using little Danish oil. Now I'm just adding a little model airplane style glue. I wanted to use CA glue, but it dried up. So this is all I have. Not that this is much better. And here it is, finished fidget spinner. There it is, folks, final product. Just a piece of oak with 3 legs and 3 holes. It's nothing special, but took about an hour of my time to make, and kid will probably play with it for 5 minutes and become a Justin Bieber fan or something. But if you liked it, please subscribe and you can see some other of my upcoming projects. I hope to be doing some other better stuff than this. I just had an hour to kill and might put a smile on the kid's face for a few minutes. Hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one.